table about the scorebook between head coach Sarah Jenkins and the officiating crew, which tonight is Tom Danaher, Lori Deutsch, and Trevor Eno. So it'll be 2 shots for Drexel to start the game, as the scorebook was not entered in properly, it looks like. So, yeah, we've seen this before, Maggie. It is rare.
Absolutely, but again, it's just something that's a little frustrating, especially if you're the head coach. You have other things to worry about.
So it'll be Amaris Baker at the line for Drexel to start things off. She makes the first. Now 28 of 35 on the year. And, we talked a lot about Kara McCormick, but Amaris Baker has been just pacing this team in scoring all season long.
Truly has. I mean, if you're a coach, you want Amaris Baker on your roster. She just does it all, plays defense, plays every single minute as hard as she can. She's an unbelievable player.
So now we will jump it up with Drexel having a 2-0 lead. It'll be Charisier and Evans to jump it up, and we're underway here for CAA conference play in 2025. Drexel in the home white, Delaware in the road black. Grace O'Neill, guarded by Ella Wanzer. Hodges, now to Baker. Baker over to Evans, under 10 to shoot. O'Neill, she'll launch it from the corner. Bang!
Great shot for Grace O'Neill. She was ready for that one, calling for the skip pass. We saw it from here. Great job.
So Drexel up 5-0 before Delaware even touched the basketball.
That's a great start if you're the Dragons.
Here's Chloe Wilson. Preseason second team All-CAA, has underperformed thus far. Here's Tara Cousins knocking down the jumper. Cousins a good shooter.
Yeah, just a great shot, able to elevate over her defender. Nice touch.
And here's a dangerous cross-court pass, nearly intercepted, and the Dragons get into the front court, but Baker missing the baby jumper, and here come the Blue Hens the other way. Cousins slows it down. Wilson down low, knocked away by Hodges, and that's going to be out of bounds off of Charisier. Great post defense and a mismatch by Chloe Hodges.
Yeah, Chloe Hodges just able to tee up there. That's what we say. That's a 3-quarter touch, able to get around, tip the ball without fouling. Great job defensively.
So Delaware coming out here in this zone press. Drexel does break it. Evans, baseline. Baby hook off the glass and good over Charisier.
Great move by Evans there, able to face up, use her body, spin right off the glass. Good start.
This was a matchup I was looking forward to. Evans at 6'2", Charisier at 6'1", 2 of the better bigs going at it in the CAA.
Definitely, both strong players. We're going to see them compete tonight.
Here they are again, down in the post. Charisier trying for the answer and got the roll on the reverse layup.
Yeah, nice move there, able to reverse, feel the defender on her hip, get all the way around underneath the basket.
Charisier coming off an amazing freshman season. Only a sophomore, averaging 11 points and 6 rebounds per game. McCormick, her first real touch today. Guarded closely by the veteran, Rebecca Demica. Hodges, McCormick for 3, knocks it down.
Great shot for McCormick, staying hot, coming off her last game, 20 points. Great look for her.
Dragons 2 for 2 from downtown to start things off. Delaware with the basketball, here's Cousins. Demica, who's a pretty good shooter as well. Guarded closely by McCormick. Wilson, down the lane, nice spin move in traffic, and she was fouled. Good take by Chloe Wilson.
Yeah, not afraid to go downhill there, spin into a little bit of traffic, but stay under control. Nice drive.
Got one more look here. Good defense by Hodges, but a nice spin move, and then the foul was called on Evans coming over to help.
Yeah, she left the floor a little bit too early there.
So Chloe Wilson, there's Coach Amy Mallon. Mentioned about Wilson, preseason second team All-CAA, coming off a very solid year. Transferred in from FDU a couple of years ago. And even though she's only averaging 9.8 points per game when there were high expectations, she's averaged 14 points per game over her last 4, including 19 against Villanova. So she is starting to get going at the right time.
Yeah, that's huge. If you're a coach, that's what you want to see, conference play, your players bringing it all. So again, heating up at the right time, that's really crucial.
So Wilson at the line, only a 62% free throw shooter, missing the first. She's now 33 of 54 from the line on the year, so she does get to the line a lot. She just has to knock them down. Second free throw is good. 1 of 2 for Wilson. She's in the scoring column. And now the Blue Hens again set up this zone press. And Demica with the deflection. Dragons have to get the ball across, and they do with maybe a half second to spare, and Evans avoids the tie-up. Wow. Hodges will launch the three. Knocks it down. Drexel perfect from deep.
And Chloe Hodges just making Delaware pay there. They set up the press on purpose, trying to force a tough shot, and Chloe making them pay.
Demica tried for the quick answer and couldn't connect, and here comes Drexel. Dragons 3 for 3 from beyond the arc.
Good to see all 5 scorers scoring already here in this first quarter.
Wow, absolutely. You don't see that often from the Dragons. That's going to be an offensive foul. Moving screen there on Chloe Hodges.
Yeah, Hodges just sticking out her shoulder there, not maintaining her space. Easy call for the official.
First substitution of the game. Sydney Boone is in the contest. Coming in for Tara Cousins. Demica over to Wanzer. Wanzer backing down Baker, drops it off for Charisier, blocked by Grace O'Neal. Baker on the run, right down the lane, and she draws the contact, and she'll go to the line. How about Grace O'Neal coming up with her 3rd block on the year on the 6-1, Andia Charisier.
Yeah, Grace O'Neal, she's just one of those scrappy players. Here comes Amaris, you'll see in transition because of that great defense. Earns a spot to the line.
So Baker back to the line. She made the 2 technical free throws to start the game, missing the first. One of 2 for Baker. 9-point lead for the Dragons. So Sydney Boone running the point. She's been limited because of an injury. Delaware has been absolutely killed by the injury bug. We'll get into that a little bit later. Charisier gets Baker on a switch. Molly Lavin into the game for Drexel defending. How about Chloe Wilson going bank? Didn't realize the bank was open here on a Friday night.
It is tonight. Wow, great shot. I mean, she was in rhythm. I wonder if she even tried to do that.
McCormick to O'Neal. Dragons in trouble. And O'Neal travels. So far, Drexel has done a good job breaking the Delaware press, but right there, unable to do it.
Yeah, and a tough spot for Grace O'Neal, you know, a smaller guard in the corner. We call that jail because there's a sideline that can also trap you as a 3rd defender.
Charisier down low against Lavin, and that's going to be an offensive foul as Charisier lowered the shoulder and Molly Lavin takes the charge.
Yeah, good strong take, but Lavin just able to take it right on her chest. Again, another easy offensive foul call there.
First foul against Charisier, 2nd team foul for Delaware. So Lavin came in for Deja Evans. Lavin, the transfer from American University, 1st year here in Philadelphia, has done a nice job off the bench, averaging 4.5 points and 2.5 rebounds per game. Baker, baseline, knocks it down for her first field goal.
So easy, just in rhythm, great flare screen. Delaware guarding her on the perimeter, 1 dribble, easy jump shot for Amaris Baker.
5 points for Baker. Dragons doubling up the Hens. Here's another 3 for Wilson, and this time she knocks it down without the bank.
Yeah, so she can shoot, and she's shown it here early. Great shot.
Yeah, Chloe Wilson this year has only knocked down 1 3-pointer coming into today, and she's knocked down 2 here in the first 5.5 minutes.
Conference play changes everything, you know.
Lavin, baseline jumper, can't connect. Rebound, Wilson. Boone up ahead to Wanzer. And Demica was out of bounds, and that will take us to our first timeout. So the Dragons up by 5, but Delaware starting to heat up a little bit. As we'll take a break live play here in the CAA alongside Maggie McIntyre, Amari Bluestein. We'll hear from our sideline reporter Tessa Peloso in just a little bit. Drexel up by 5. Maggie, observations so far from the opening first 5+ minutes of conference play?
I'd say the energy here is incredible. Both teams just coming out, firing, playing tough defense, showing what they got here in conference play.
Out of the timeout, Drexel going with the two bigs of Evans and Lavin together. McCormick, a deep three. A little bit too strong. Lavin skies in for the offensive rebound. Fresh 20 for Drexel.
Yeah, just a good hustle there by Lavin, noticing that Delaware, they went to zone. Drexel going to shoot their way out of it. Great shot by Grace O'Neal there.
O'Neal's second triple. She's got 6, and the Dragons, they're not perfect anymore, but 4 for 5 from downtown.
And that's what you want to see out of O'Neal, just looking for a shot early on here. I mean, it's a difference maker for this offense.
Dragons up 8. They've led by as many as 9. Cousins, the mid-range, and that is her game right there. Cousins, her second field goal. She's got 4.
Quite the move. Little stop and pop. One dribble, able to create some space. Nice finish.
You have a couple of really good veteran shooters in Demica and Cousins. The Dragons need to be aware of at all times. Baker can't connect on the 3. Fighting for the rebound is Lavin, but in the process, commits the foul and goes over the back of Cousins.
Yeah, and if you're Delaware there, that's a win. They want to slow Drexel down, get them into their set, force a quick 3, rebound, and they're done. Good
Substitution
defense.
for Delaware as Charisier comes out. Michelle Ojo into the game for the first time. She got injured in their tournament a couple of weeks ago. She has not played the last few games, but head coach Sarah Jenkins certainly glad to have her back in the lineup.
Yeah, anybody that can be an extra body for you in conference play, that's going to be important.
Cousins over to Demica. Cousins around a screen, pull-up free throw line jumper, and Tara Cousins with her third field goal. She's got 6.
Yeah, she's money from inside that little mid-range area, looking good.
Yeah, that is her game. That stop and pop mid-range jumper. Meanwhile, the Dragons get the ball across midcourt with about a second to spare. O'Neal on the wing. Here's McCormick. Around a Lavin screen. Good closeout and a steal. Boone leads the charge. Cousins. She has the hot hand, lost control, but Wilson, Johnny on the spot, picks it up. Now inside, Ojo trying to get around Evans, falls to the ground, and she was out of bounds. It'll be a turnover for the Blue Hens.
Yeah, she was out of bounds. A little bit better of a pass there. Maybe she was able to score. Let's see, loses the ball here.
Yeah, the look down low. Good defense
by
by
Evans. Yeah, good defense, absolutely. Just, again, able to get around, looking like Evans pulled the chair out from underneath, and that's exactly what you want to do.
Hodges back in for Lavin, and Lane McGurk, the sophomore from Westchester, into the game for the first time for Kara McCormick. Hodges gets it in the high post. Hand off Baker. McGurk, corner 3, knocks it down with the high arcing shot.
Wow, everybody on the Dragons, they're hot tonight. Funny, you see Lane McGurk come in. She always wants to get a quick shot off, and that one went in.
5 of 7 from beyond the arc for Drexel. Ojo in the lane, can't get the bounce, fight for the rebound, but it goes out of bounds off of Grace O'Neal, so the ball will stay with the Blue Hens. They'll get a fresh 20.
Well, we see Delaware trying to exploit Drexel, some of these smaller guards when they're switching down on the block, looking to post up. But Drexel just doing a good job on their rotations.
Cousins misses that runner, and Hodges with the board. McGurk. Hodges will launch another one. Off the back rim, rebound Wilson. Boone going for the touchdown pass and a little bit too far for Ojo, but McGurk intercepted it and stepped out of bounds, so Delaware catches a break.
Yeah, I'm not sure if McGurk knew where she was on the floor. Could have been easier just to let that ball go out of bounds. But the effort was there.
So Ojo comes out, Charisier back in. Again, Ojo just coming back from an injury, so we don't know how many minutes she will actually get today. Also, Jaya Perry, the transfer from SMU, wearing number 12. She's into the game for the first time. Wilson, another good spin move. Evans might have gotten a piece out of bounds, and it will be Drexel ball.
Credit to Delaware. They're not afraid to go into the basket hard. They're going down the paint, heads down. They're just working their tails off, but they can't get a roll.
Delaware again putting on the press. And Drexel has capitalized on the 5 turnovers from Delaware, and there is another bucket off of a turnover. Deja Evans, 4 points.
Great job by the Dragons there, and that's how you break a press. Usually you say with no dribbles, you break a zone press. They didn't put the ball on the floor there.
So we've got about a 6-second difference here between the game clock and the shot clock here at the end of the first quarter. Delaware has been stuck on 15 for a couple of minutes. Boone gets separation, too strong. Hodges corrals the miss. Shot clock is off. Final look for the Dragons here in the first quarter. They have led from start to finish. O'Neal thought about it. Now Hodges, she has an opening. No good off the back rim, and that will do it. So the Dragons shoot 62% from the floor, 5 of 9 from downtown, including this triple by Lane McGurk. You're watching Drexel basketball from Learfield here on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Hi, I'm Katie O'Donnell.
Rothman Orthopedics, the official team physicians of your Dragons, providing the region with unmatched orthopedic care.
This Delaware team off to a rough start. Their last 2 games were canceled due to injuries and technically have not played a game since December 19th. And when I spoke with Amaris Baker this week, I asked her, I said, what's the game plan here on facing them? And she said, honestly, we have to go in there and just play our basketball. Just play Drexel basketball. Take everything we've learned from these non-conference games and just play. We respect our opponents, but at the end of the day, we just want to win. We have to lock in on what we've been doing, our preparation, and go out there and give it our all. Ari?
Thanks so much, Tessa. And yeah, Delaware has been shorthanded. It's definitely been a struggle for them as Drexel comes out of the timeout, creating a turnover, and Hodges is able to save it.
We love to see that from the Dragons, coming out with that double team and having a lot of success.
So Drexel creates the turnover. That's already the 6th turnover for the Delaware Blue Hens. And as you saw, we put it up 10 points off of Delaware turnovers so far. Shot clock winding down, though. McCormick got some space and drew the foul. What a nice drive by Kara McCormick. It'll be a foul on Demica.
Yeah, great job by McCormick there. Able to turn the corner. Feels this defender on her hip. Gets all the way around. Draws the foul.
And we know McCormick as a shooter, but we saw it a little bit against Lebanon Valley, starting to show that she can drive. And, at her height at 5'3", she can kind of sneak in past some of those taller defenders.
Definitely, and if you're guarding her, you understand that she's a threat. So you know that she can shoot from the outside. She has to be capable of shooting from the inside as well. So you just got to be careful when guarding her. She can be dangerous.
We talked about McCormick. She had a season-high 20 against Lebanon Valley, 4 for 4 from downtown. She had 11 against Florida State in mid-December, so she is starting to find that groove a little bit. Drexel with their largest lead of the game at 11. Charisier, high post. Boone around the screen. Down low, nice move by Charisier. Got it to go. Probably could have got the N1 as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think good job by the Dragons just staying tall, not breaking the plane. But overall, great finish there.
Back to a 9-point lead for Drexel. Hodges. McGurk. Shot clock at 10. Evans, the lob inside. Hodges, the quick trigger.
Easy bucket for Hodges there to her left hand. She's dominant on that side. Up and easy off the glass.
6 different Dragons have scored. Lavin, the only Dragon that has gotten in and has not scored yet. Balanced scoring attack and good shooting for Drexel so far. Boone, the step back, knocks it down. First bucket for Sydney Boone, the grad student from Richmond.
Yeah, hand down, man down there. Nice step back. Able to create some space, and Delaware needed that one.
Hodges, guarded closely by Wanzer. Evans in the post. Turnaround, couldn't get it to go. Rebound by Boone. Wanzer, her first shot, and that is off the mark. Rebound by Perry, but it was deflected right to the Dragons. That was the first shot attempt of the night for Wanzer.
Looking to just get a quick shot off, get herself going here.
Yeah, Drexel has not really allowed her a lot of space on the perimeter. Evans. Hodges. In traffic. Finds McGurk. Baseline jumper, don't count it. Traveling violation, a little extra step there for McGurk.
Yeah, she definitely did. And a good job by McGurk just to relocate. She lost her defender, but unable to secure the basketball without traveling.
Perry out, and Cousins is in with Chloe Wilson. Sydney Boone running the point. Ella Wanzer, and down low is Andia Charisier for Delaware. For Drexel, McCormick, Baker, McGurk, Hodges, and Evans. Boone guarded closely by McGurk. Good crossover. All the way under the basket. Wilson, a good drive over a flying McGurk. And Chloe Wilson having herself a solid first half. She's got 9.
Yeah, she's quite the athlete out there. Just able to take off, double clutch in the air, finish high. Great move.
So Delaware closing the gap a little bit. Drexel led by 11 at the start of this quarter. Hodges. Oh, and a little bit of a delayed call there as Hodges pushed off and Wilson got pushed back. I think it is the right call, even though it was delayed.
It is, and unfortunately, anything above the neck, that's what happens there. Let's see, Chloe Hodges pushing off. Yeah, just a little high on that arm bar. She's technically allowed to use it, just not up there.
So that's the second personal foul on Hodges. She goes back to the bench. Lavin is in. McGurk out, and Grace O'Neal back in. Wilson. Evans was right there. Now Cousins will launch the 3, short. Rebound McCormick, and here comes Drexel. Up ahead to Baker. Oh, and she traveled a little stutter step before she put the ball on the ground.
Yeah, and sometimes you're just going so fast you don't even feel yourself. Take that extra little hop there. Maris, a little bit confused, but it is the right call.
So Boone out, and Perry is back in. Delaware with only 8 players dressed tonight. One of them is a walk-on who was just added to the team. So they're basically going with a 7-player rotation as Cousins down low. Charisier lost it. Delaware has to regroup. Wilson over Lavin. Got it again. Chloe Wilson now in double figures with 11.
Yeah, we've seen multiple Dragons try and stop her. It just doesn't seem like anybody can at this point.
7-0 run for the Blue Hens has drawn them to within 4. Lavin to McCormick. Free throw line jumper, got it.
Great job by McCormick. Able to run tight, shoulder to shoulder, off of that screen. Easy curl cut for her.
I think we're going to restart this inbounds play, but getting back to McCormick, she's got 7 points to lead the Dragons. You can just see she's getting more and more comfortable here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and I think she's understanding her role a little bit better on the team, and Coach Mallon seeing her strengths of running her off screens, getting her feet set. When she's in rhythm, she's money.
Wanzer wants to go down low, Charisier. This has been a battle all game long against Evans. No good, rebound deflected. Charisier lost it and Evans picks it up. Good hustle by Lavin and Grace O'Neal on that play.
Yeah, Grace O'Neal able to just deflect it off somebody's leg, and Drexel ends up with it. So she's always doing the little scrappy things that you ask for.
Under 5 to play here in the second quarter. Oh, and that's deflected. Bodies on the floor. Delaware comes up with it. Good hustle by the Blue Hens.
Yeah, 50-50 balls. You're going to want to win those.
Cousins, pick and roll. Wilson, she's had the hot hand for the Hens. Oh, and she lost it. Wanted to go down low, but just lost the handle.
Yeah, she's got to slow herself down a little bit there.
McCormick, cross-court Lavin. Now Drexel will regroup with O'Neal. Evans. Baker around the screen. Hesitation. Tough shot. Got the roll.
Great patience there by Maris Baker. Understanding she's got a bigger defender on her. She got to stop and pop. Great move.
4 in a row for Drexel. Gets the lead back up to 8. Dragons have led by as many as 11, but Delaware has clawed back. High post Charisier. She'll take the jumper. Too strong. Floorboard to Baker.
If you're Drexel, you'll give up that shot. Force that little foul line jumper. Easy defense there.
Yeah, Charisier, you can keep her away from the basket. That's certainly a win for the Dragons. Evans down low. Face up. Drive blocked by Charisier. Wow, that has been a battle down low so far here at the DAC. We'll take a timeout. And Amaris Baker with the bucket to give the Dragons an 8-point lead. You're watching Drexel basketball from Learfield here on NBC Sports. 88%, but Delaware at 50%, and they've started to shoot the ball better here in the second quarter.
Yeah, Delaware just looking like a different team here, and it seems like things are finally starting to click. They're getting more people involved, so that's a good sign for the Blue Hens.
Lane McGurk back into the game for Drexel, having trouble with the inbound, and McCormick. 10 seconds to shoot for Drexel. Baker. O'Neal. Somebody's got to put the shot up. Oh, and she found Lavin down low, but it was knocked away by Delaware. Boone up ahead to Charisier. Wilson, who leads all scorers with 11, has to pass it back outside. Cousins, pull up, mid-range. She's been deadly from that elbow.
Yeah, and just so smooth, natural, right in rhythm. Unbelievable.
Back to a 6-point game. Drexel has led from the tip, even before the tip, because of the technical foul, which is very rare. Grace O'Neal on the wing, Netta Lavin. Baker with Cousins all over her. 10 to shoot. O'Neal hits the cutter, it's Baker, and we're gonna have a reach and foul on Tara Cousins. Only the second team foul. Have not been a lot of fouls. The only one in any kind of foul trouble right now is Chloe Hodges for Drexel, and then for Delaware, Demica has 2 personals.
Yeah, and that's what you want in these conference games. You want the officials to let them play and earn these wins.
McGurk will inbound, fresh 20 for the Dragons. All the way out to Lavin over the outstretched arm of Wanzer. Baker the drive, she's doubled. Lavin, cross-court Baker. This Delaware matchup zone has caused a lot of problems for the Dragons. McGurk, corner 3. That's where she made it the first time, and she knocks it down again.
Yeah, she'll do it again. Same spot, just like you said. Great job by Lane McGurk. She was ready to shoot.
6 of 10 as a team from beyond the arc for Drexel. Cousins, elbow jumper again. Didn't get it, but she earns the foul as Amaris Baker a little too close for comfort.
Yeah, if I'm Cousins and Drexel sitting in man-to-man, I'm hanging around that area. I mean, she's made every single shot, and she was just fouled on that one. Great job.
Coming up at the half, we will have part 3 of the Big 5 journey for Drexel women's basketball, and a little talk with Katie O'Donnell, the head coach of Drexel women's lacrosse, coming off another NCAA tournament appearance. That's coming up at the half. Don't go anywhere, right here on NBC Sports Philadelphia and Flow College. So Tara Cousins at the line, made the first. This is the second. Fight for the rebound, and they say last touch by McGurk, as she got pretty much taken down by Chloe Wilson. Looks like they just got tangled up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm surprised maybe that wasn't a foul call there on McGurk.
Oh, now they changed it to Drexel ball. I think that call is correct. It didn't look like McGurk had a hand on it.
Yeah, I think she came down. Delaware just fell on top of her and maybe tipped it out of bounds at the end.
So Drexel basketball as we get down to the final minute plus of this first half. It's been an intense battle so far between two CAA rivals. Evans the tough take, and she draws the foul on Charisier. I'll tell you what, Maggie, I think let's just clear everyone off and just have Deja Evans and Andia Charisier go one-on-one in the post.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an entertaining battle we've seen so far in this first half. And, again, just both of them pulling out all the stops tonight.
So Charisier has to go to the bench with 2 personal fouls. So Michelle Ojo back into the game. Deja Evans, the transfer from Albany. Can't get the first one to go, but she played 1 year at Albany. A very solid season as a freshman, all rookie team for the America East, all defensive, and 3rd team overall. And then she transferred here back home, went to Archbishop Wood in the Philadelphia Catholic League. She's back home, and she's been a great addition for this Drexel team.
Yeah, I'm sure she just loves playing in her hometown every single night.
So 1 of 2 for Evans, 9-point lead for Drexel. The Dragons have led by as many as 11. Delaware has not led. Here's a pass that was deflected. Ojo did get it, but McGurk grabs the miss.
Yeah, good job there by Drexel again, just staying straight up, not fouling anybody out.
Evans in the post, this time against Ojo. Trying the reverse, up and under, almost got it to go. And the rebound by the Blue Hens. Sydney Boone trying to push the issue. Baker knocks it away, stolen by McGurk. The touchdown pass for O'Neal, and she lays it in.
Great job, a lot of back and forth play here, but Dragons defense coming up with the stop, transitioning into an easy bucket.
Drexel with 16 points off of 8 Delaware turnovers. That's been the difference here tonight. Drexel matching their largest lead of the game right here. Ojo high post. Driving in on McGurk off the switch. Offensive foul!
Great job by Lane McGurk. Beautiful defense. She was right in position. Took it on the chest. Great job. Not afraid to take a hit.
We saw Lavin take the charge earlier. McGurk take the charge. What a first half for Lane McGurk. You see the arm just a little bit extended there, Maggie.
Yeah, she dipped that shoulder.
So game clock and shot clock virtually identical here. The Dragons will likely hold for 1. Baker guarded by Tara Cousins. This has been a really good matchup as well. Here we go. McCormick. Oh, now to Evans. She wasn't quite expecting it. Delaware has it. Let's see if they can get a shot off. Boone does get it off, but it will be off to the right. And that is how the first half will end. So the Dragons with an 11-point lead. They're shooting extremely well. They're getting contributions from everyone. Maggie, your thoughts real quick.
Both of these teams have to circle this game on their calendar, so sad to see it come to an end, but I'm sure somebody will fill the spot.
Yeah, you've got a game at Delaware in March as the Dragons will head down to Newark. And we are underway for the 3rd quarter. Both team starters are back in. Hodges is in with 2 fouls. Demica in with 2 fouls for Delaware. Tough shot by Baker, just kind of forced it up. Charisier got a piece of it. The ball will stay with the Dragons.
Well, credit to Delaware in the first half. I mean, holding Amaris Baker under double digits, that's a tough job in itself.
Evans outside to Baker, step back. It would have been a deep 2. Rebound to Charisier. Cousins given room and makes Drexel pay.
Can't leave her. Absolutely not. Wide open. Cousins, she showed it all night long and quickly into the second half.
She averages 11 per game. She has 12 tonight. Big bucket for Delaware to start the second half. And here's this matchup zone that we've seen from the Blue Hens all night long as Baker just tiptoed the sideline to stay in bounds. Hodges hits the cutter. It's Baker. Tough matchup against Charisier. Has to pass it to O'Neal. Shot clock under 5. Deep three for Baker. No good. And this Delaware defense has caused the Dragons some problems so far, as that is tipped out of bounds by Baker, so Delaware will keep it. But this Blue Hen defense, both the press and the matchup zone, has been really effective today.
Yeah, well, Delaware, everyone is strong, everyone's athletic, they're aggressive on defense. So when you're switching 1 through 5 and everyone seems to have similar height and characteristics, I mean, it's going to be tough to score against.
Lane McGurk into the game for the first time here in the third quarter. Had 6 points in that first half. Really played some good defense as well. Cousins over McCormick around the rim and out. And that's going to be a foul on Wilson for going over the back. It'll be her first.
Only her first foul. Nice to see her be aggressive, fighting for an extra chance for her team.
Now Wilson has been very good tonight. 11 points on 4 for 5 shooting. Drexel breaks the press. Quick trigger by McGurk. No good. Offensive rebound. Baker. O'Neal the jumper short. Rebound deflected to O'Neal, and she is fouled. So the Dragons hitting the offensive glass hard on that possession.
Yeah, and Delaware's defense working again there. Forced Lane to take a quick shot early in the shot clock, but the Dragons, you got to give them credit, going after that offensive glass and coming up successful.
Foul was on Wanzer. That is her first, team's second here in the third quarter. Wilson is being asked to exit.
Maybe blood on her.
Yeah, perhaps. And Jaya Perry will check back in. So fresh 20 for the Dragons after the foul. Baker, top of the key, launches the three, and it's off the mark. That's normally one that she knocks down.
Yeah, you see Amara struggling here a little bit, but she's got to trust in herself, and she knows what she's capable of.
So the Dragons scoreless here in the opening minute and a half of this third quarter. Delaware looking to close the gap a little bit more. Demico on the left wing. Down low, Charisier doubled. McCormick knocks it out of bounds and will stay with the Dragons, but good team defense by Drexel.
Great weak side rotation by McCormick. Able to tip that ball out of bounds. If not, Wanzer had a wide open three in the corner. Good job.
So the ball will stay with the Blue Hens. 12 to shoot. All the way out to Perry. Demica, who is scoreless. She hasn't even taken a shot yet. Cousins against McCormick. Perry, 2 to shoot. Charisier passes as the shot clock expires. Another turnover for Delaware.
Yeah, big turnover there. I mean, nobody really seemed to understand the shot clock was running down. Usually you hear your bench yelling it out for you, but not on that one.
Drexel breaks the press. McGurk over to O'Neal. Good ball movement. Down low, Evans against Charisier. Keeps the pivot foot, can't get it to go. Rebound deflected. It's going to be a foul on Drexel. It'll be on McGurk.
Good move inside by Evans. Good patience, just not able to finish. Again, it's been a battle all night long. Tough defense.
Well, going back to your Rothman Orthopedic halftime adjustment, keep the foot on the gas. That just has not happened here in the opening 2.5 minutes of this third quarter.
Yeah, we see Drexel just a little stagnant, not able to find their flow, and they need to get their defense translating into offense.
How about Charisier falling down but keeping her dribble? Perry blocked by Evans.
Quite the block there by Deja Evans. She read that one the whole way. Great job just not to foul. All ball on that one.
Deja Evans, her 21st block on the year. One more look. It's a good drive. Evans with the deny.
Clean.
9 to shoot for Delaware. Cousins, step back over McCormick, and Tara Cousins has been red hot over the last 20 minutes of play.
Just shooting the lights out. I mean, Kara, not much more you can do on that. Great step back. She was able to create space for herself.
Cousins with 15. Baker, the drive, got the roll, and it's the first point for the Dragons here in the third quarter.
Just a great give and go from McCormick to Baker. Baker getting herself downhill. Sometimes when you struggle shooting, you try and get inside the paint.
Baker now with 9, leading the Dragons in that department. We've talked about it. Drexel has had some balanced scoring here tonight. Wanzer, and we're going to have an offensive foul. It's going to be a moving pick on Demica. That will be her third, and she just has not been able to stay on the floor tonight for Delaware.
No, and it's unfortunate because they need her out there.
Demica is going to have to come out, and Chloe Wilson will come to get her. Chloe Hodges in for the Dragons, coming in to get McGurk.
Good to see Hodges back out there in the second half. She had to sit with some foul trouble in the first.
Again, the press on for Delaware. Drexel unable to break it, and then Charisier is fouled by Grace O'Neal.
Yeah, tough play. I mean, Delaware just able to read the defense the whole entire way. Come up with that interception.
So for O'Neal, that'll be her first personal, team's second. This third quarter has just been a little bit disjointed so far. Only 8 points total between these two teams.
Yeah, a little choppy play here.
Perry left open, top of the key, too strong. Rebound deflected, and Perry comes up with it. Fresh 20 for the Blue Hens. Wilson the drive. Cut off baseline, knocked away by Evans, and Baker comes up with a steal. Baker on the run. O'Neal, McCormick was open for a little bit. O'Neal didn't see her. Now down low, Hodges. In the post, across the lane, misses the left-handed layup.
Yeah, so we see these Drexel bigs just missing a couple tough shots underneath.
And Perry steps into a three, no good. Baker grabs another board, and she will slow things down.
Good decision by Baker here. Let your team set up, do what you do best, and execute your offense.
Hodges. McCormick launches the three short, and Wilson will just let that one go out of bounds into the Drexel bench. So McGurk back in for Grace O'Neal. And Sydney Boone back in, coming to get Tara Cousins, who has been outstanding tonight for the Blue Hens.
Yeah, Drexel better take advantage while she's on the bench these next couple minutes.
Wilson and Cousins have combined for 26 of Delaware's 33 points. That is a huge chunk. Meanwhile, Drexel has no players in double figures at all. And now we're going to have a whistle on McGurk, trying to get through a screen. And for McGurk, that'll be her second, team's third.
Yeah, McGurk just trying to fight through that screen. Looked like she was fighting through maybe with her hands a little too much rather than jumping to the ball and getting around with her body.
So side out for Delaware, right next to their bench. We're now at the midway point here of the third quarter. Wilson, Evans, another block! Perry comes up with a loose ball, steps through, and muscles it up.
Tough break for the Dragons. I mean, Evans just there for the block again. Rim protector, but you got to come up with that basketball. Play's not over.
5-point lead for the Dragons. They have led throughout, but Drexel has been stuck on 40 for a couple of minutes. They only have 2 points here in the entire quarter. McCormick running the point with O'Neal out of the game. Baker. Hodges. Shot clock winding down. McCormick, tough shot, couldn't get it to go. Rebound Wilson, and this Delaware defense again stepping up.
Just tough, forcing tough shots every single possession for Drexel.
And Boone over to Perry, and Perry stepped out of bounds, and that will take us to a timeout. So the Dragons up by 5, 40-35, with 4:10 to go here in the third quarter. You're watching Essa Brugler and her sister and St. Joseph star Talia Brugler in the house here tonight. They put up a lot of points in their collegiate careers, both at Drexel, Bucknell, and St. Joseph's. Alongside Maggie McIntyre, I'm Ari Bluestein. We'll hear from our third member, Tessa Peloso, in just a little bit. Drexel out of the timeout. They have struggled offensively here in the third quarter after an outstanding first half.
Yeah, I mean, just a tale of two halves. That's what you say about basketball games with Drexel. They seem to just struggle here. Can't read the defense.
And a hand check foul against Sydney Boone. And, you know, you look at the foul calls. We've had 7 fouls here in the third quarter. I don't know if we had 7 fouls in the first half.
No, again, just very choppy this half compared to the first. Lots of flow and rhythm in the first half.
Fresh 20 for Drexel. Delaware has outscored the Dragons 8-2 here in the third quarter after Drexel led by 11 at the break. O'Neal has it with the shot clock at 4. McCormick from deep. Bang!
Kara McCormick just shooting the ball with confidence, continuing to set herself up for success. Drexel needed that one.
McCormick from downtown. She's got 10. Charisier in trouble, and she traveled. And boy, that three-pointer by Kara McCormick could end up being the turning point in this game if Drexel holds on for the win.
Yeah, you feel a little bit of a momentum switch here for the Dragons, able to get that huge bucket. Then you come right down and get a stop. Now you need another score.
Dragons up 8 with a little bit of breathing room, but they have to break the press, and they can't do it. Another cross-court pass is grabbed, and Chloe Wilson goes in, and the blocking foul is called. And every time we've seen Drexel turn it over in this press, it's from that dangerous cross-court pass that Delaware picks off. Here it is.
Exactly, and Delaware continuing to jump that passing lane. I mean, if you're the Dragons, you got to throw a pump fake there. Don't throw the ball all the way across the court like that. It gives the defense plenty of time to intercept it.
And a good effort there by McCormick to try and take the charge, just sliding over a little bit too late there. So Chloe Wilson back to the line. First free throw is good. Wilson now 2 of 3 from the line. There you see McCormick talking with Drexel head coach Amy Mallon. So Wilson with 12, Cousins with 15. I make it 13 now for Wilson. So 28 of the 37 points coming from those 2 players for the Blue Hens.
Yeah, they're just having themselves a night.
Drexel again trying to break the press. And finally they get it across with 1 second to spare. And now the Dragons will work in the half court. McCormick. The double comes in. She's in trouble. And Amy Mallon tried to call the timeout, but instead the jump ball was called. And possession arrow in favor of Delaware. And another turnover for the Dragons here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and just as we thought, the momentum might switch here. Delaware coming down, 2 back-to-back stops, disrupting Drexel.
Boone trying to get it down low to Charisier, battling with Molly Lavin now as Wilson lost the ball, but the fortunate bounce goes to Perry. Boone over O'Neal, tough shot, no good. Wilson comes out of nowhere and puts it in.
Just flying through the paint for that rebound. Amazing job, able to bring it down and go right back up. Easy bucket.
Chloe Wilson with 15, and it's a 4-point lead for Drexel and another near turnover. O'Neal was able to keep it. McGurk will launch the 3. Just a little bit too strong. Lavin battling. Cousins comes up with it for a moment. Now we have another tie-up. Possession arrow in favor of Drexel this time. But boy, this Delaware defense has made shots extremely difficult for Drexel here in the third quarter.
They have. I mean, here we just see a quick replay of that offensive board. Easy basket, but your point about the defense, just Delaware able to take up a lot of space. They're active with their arms, making things look like they're not open.
Demica and Wanzer back in. Boone and Perry come out. Dragons do get a fresh 30 because of the change of possession. McGurk, quick look for Baker. Wow, how did she put that up in the basket?
Her head was turned, a little scoop shot to Maris Baker. It's going to go in.
I guess so. She's in double figures with 11. Wilson, count it. Oh, no, don't count it. Traveling violation.
Looks like she maybe just skipped that 1 foot as she spun. Nice move, though. I like it.
We've seen that spin move multiple times. And maybe, like you said, it was just slightly different, 1 extra step. Turnover number 17 for Delaware. Dragons trying to cash in on another Delaware turnover as they've done all night, but the Dragons have to take care of the ball. And
timeout
called by Amy Mallon there. And that will take us to immediate timeouts of the here tonight. And we already have one final game that was played this afternoon. Stony Brook took down Northeastern 72-51. That'll be the next opponent for Drexel here at the DAC on Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. And a lot of games starting at 7 o'clock. We'll try and get you updated later in the fourth quarter. So here we go. Drexel out of the timeout. Baker gets the handoff. Baseline. Has to kick it out. This Delaware defense has been ruthless.
Yeah, smothering the Dragons.
And there's another turnover as Grace O'Neill diving for the ball knocks over Demica. And Drexel did such a great job of taking care of the ball in the first half. Just Delaware has just been increasing the pressure.
Yeah, they're up in Drexel's shorts, and this is a tough loose ball foul here by Grace O'Neill. Just diving, doing what she can to save the ball, but unfortunately tripping the Blue Hens.
So Drexel is now over the limit here in the quarter, so Delaware in the bonus. And in fact, on the next Delaware foul, Drexel will be in the bonus. That kind of tells you how many fouls have occurred here in the third. Second personal foul on O'Neill, so Rebecca Demica at the line. First free throw is good. That's her first shot attempt of any kind here tonight, and that, of course, is rare. She's a very good shooter.
Well, she's finally back on the floor. I mean, just being in and out, it's so hard to get in an offensive rhythm when you're in foul trouble.
And missing the second free throw. She does not go to the line all that much. She's now 5 for 10 on the year. It's a 5-point game. Delaware has crept within 4 or 5 points, but that's the closest they've been here in the second half. Dragons could use a bucket right here. Evans, the lob, Hodges, got it to go.
Beautiful, perfect find. Great high-low pass there from Deja Evans. Hodges able to catch it on her left hand and score.
7 for Hodges, 7 is the lead for Drexel. Cousins over to Demica, into the corner, wide open, Wanzer, and makes Drexel pay. First bucket for Ella Wanzer.
Yeah, and a great shot there by Ella Wanzer, just ready in the corner. She knew that extra pass was coming. She'll knock it down.
Shot clock is off. The Dragons do get the ball across the timeline, and they could hold for one if they choose. McCormick falling down, passed it from her knees. And now Drexel will hold.
Again, just sloppy all over the place, but Drexel coming up with the basketball here.
Baker against Charisier. Passes. Hodges is able to get it, and we will not count it, but it will be a foul on Delaware. And it will be on Chloe Wilson. That will be her second, and Baker will go to the line with 1.1 seconds to go. Excuse me, Hodges will go to the line with 1.1 seconds remaining.
Baker just throwing up that little Hail Mary pass. Hodges, great job coming to the basketball.
And Hodges gets the friendly home bounce. Chloe Hodges, the grad student from Australia, averaging 8 points, 5.5 rebounds, and leads the team with 4.5 assists per game. Misses the second free throw, and it will be Delaware ball with 0.2 of a second remaining, so they will not be able to do anything here. Just let the ball go in, and that will do it. So Drexel holding on to a 5-point lead, but the Blue Hens have closed the gap a little bit thanks to the hot
Crunch time. Ari.
Thanks so much, Tessa. And yeah, Karen McCormick hitting that huge three at the buzzer. And yeah, Drexel has had trouble handling the press so far. We'll see what happens here in the fourth quarter as Delaware has the ball. They have not led yet today in this game.
Yeah, I mean, credit to them, though. They fought their way back a little bit.
Demica finally got a good look from three. A little bit too strong. Offensive rebound. Wilson, no good. Got it back, and she was fouled. And I'll tell you what, Chloe Wilson is a woman on a mission here tonight.
Yeah, she's brought her A game, and when you get your first offensive rebound, then you get your second offensive rebound, you're bound to get a call. I mean, she's working hard. Drexel needs to stop trying to jump with her and turn around and put a body on her.
So unfortunately for Drexel, that is the third personal foul on Chloe Hodges. So she will have to exit Lane McGurk back in. Wilson has been busy at the free throw line. She makes that. She's now 4 of 5 from the charity stripes. She has 15 points, 7 rebounds, and we talked about it. She's only averaging 10 points a game, but in her last 4, she's averaging 14 a game. So you can see she's really coming on strong.
Yeah, conference play again. You just feel more comfortable. It's teams you're used to playing against, so maybe she's just ready to shine.
Well, she's been shining tonight. She misses the second free throw. It's a 4-point lead, and this is really the closest Delaware has been here in the third quarter. Drexel led by 11 at the half. That matched their largest lead. Delaware has been chipping away. McCormick, another deep 3, no good. Wanzer crashes in for the rebound, and here come the Blue Hens. A chance to make it a 1-possession game for the first time since the first quarter. Cousins, who's been dangerous from the mid-range. Wanzer, the drive. Backing down O'Neal. Got it off the glass. Nice move, and it's a 2-point game.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Wanzer's capable of. Again, she's a bigger guard. She's able to back Grace O'Neal down, spin, and light in. Nice
Wanzer
move.
now with 5. A slow start for her, but coming on strong here in the second half. McCormick in trouble, and the Dragons are bailed out by a foul that could have easily been a turnover, but Wanzer called for the block.
Yeah, and again, we just see this Delaware defense slowing Drexel down and making them start their offense from almost half court. You usually want to start it around the 3-point line, and they're just starting it way outside of their comfort zone. So credit to the defense here.
Dragons get a fresh 20. Start in the half court. Another slow start here in the quarter for Drexel. McGurk over to Baker. Down low, Evans against Charisier. Turn around, couldn't get it to go, but she draws the foul. And that'll be number 3 for Andia Charisier.
Just an easy call for the official there. The second she breaks her plane with those hands, and he's explaining it to her right now. Deja Evans working early, get her position that she wants. There's the foul.
Yep, you see the arms go down. She's saying, oh, I played straight up, but the arms came down. So Deja Evans at the line. First free throw is no good. She's now 1 of 3 from the line tonight. 5 points for the transfer from Albany and Conshohocken, PA native. Played her high school ball at Archbishop Wood in the Philadelphia Catholic League. Second free throw is good, so it's a 3-point game, but this is anyone's ball game at this point, Maggie.
Yeah, Delaware just, again, starting the game down 2 before it even started, and they haven't gone away.
Cousins misses the shot, but Wilson gets the board and a foul called on Grace O'Neal. And once again, Chloe Wilson just coming out of nowhere to get the offensive rebound.
Yeah, not a single Dragon putting a body on her, keeping her out of the paint and stopping her from crashing the board, so why not?
I saw Wilson wanted a shooting foul, but the official saying it is on the floor. So Cousins will inbound underneath the Blue Hen basket. Wilson, mid-range, drills it.
She's having a heck of a game. I mean, sets a great screen, gets her teammate open, makes herself even more wide open, drains the bucket.
18 points and 8 rebounds for Wilson. Her season high is 19, which was against another Philadelphia Big Five member in Villanova. Closest it's been even before the tip, Maggie, when it was 2-0. 10 to shoot. O'Neal the drive. McGurk. Tough shot, fade away, got it. 8 points off the bench for Lane McGurk.
Yeah, great shot by Lane McGurk there. Fading away, even though she didn't have to a little bit, but that's her move, and it went in.
Cousins. Good defense by McGurk. Down low, Charisier. Again, one-on-one with Evans. She settles for the jumper, no good. Rebound, Baker.
That's good defense by Evans there, making her settle. Just like you said, you want her to shoot that jump shot.
Big possession for Drexel to try and make it a 2-possession game yet again. O'Neal, guarded closely by Wanzer. Baker, down low, Evans. Again, attacks, and she draws another foul on Charisier. That's going to be her 4th.
Tough call. I mean, again, it's the same thing. The second her hands break that plane, that's the rule, unfortunately, in college basketball. So
we're going to take a look at it again. Yeah, just even a slight touch.
It's the rule. You can't break the offensive player's plane. You got to give them space to go up and space to come back down.
So Charisier has to exit. Wilson and Cousins getting a breather. I'm sure it will be a short break for those two.
Quick during these free throws.
So Evans back to the line. First one is good. Molly Lavin back into the game. Coming in for Grace O'Neal. So Amy Mallon going a little bigger with her lineup to help with the rebounds.
Definitely. Good decision there.
And Evans again 1 for 2 from the line. 4-point game. Sydney Boone is in running the point. Also Jaya Perry back in. Michelle Ojo came in to replace Charisier. Wanzer, the mid-range, no good. Lavin grabs the rebound, her second of the day. McGurk on the run, but Delaware got back. McCormick running the point. McGurk. Back to McCormick on the wing. Baker. Shot clock under 10. Baker has it back. Dragons have to get moving. McGurk, tough baseline shot, hit the rim. Floorboard Molly Lavin.
Great rebound by Lavin there.
McCormick, no good on the 3. Rebound Ojo as Evans goes over the back.
Credit to Drexel, hustling their tails off on that possession, just couldn't get one to fall. Tough play. Delaware able to come up with it.
You know, we talked about how this was the last matchup between these two teams, these two longtime rivals as conference members here in the CAA in Philly. And just throw out the records, Maggie. Anytime these two get together, it is a war.
Absolutely, and you want to protect your home court. If you're Drexel, you don't want to lose, especially to Delaware at home.
Perry over Evans, and we're going to have a foul on the Blue Hens. It's going to be on Ojo, knocking over Molly Lavin down low. So that is already the 4th team foul on Delaware. Drexel with 3 team fouls. So this game could come down to free throws as McGurk has to track that ball down. And the Dragons do get it across midcourt. Lavin outside McGurk. McGurk, the drive. Pull up, free throw line short. Rebound by Perry. And it's going to be a blocking foul on McGurk.
Tough whistle there. I mean, it's the same call we kind of saw across the way from us. But McGurk just hustling after that. Frustration for her in rebound.
3rd foul on McGurk as O'Neal comes back in. She has 3 fouls herself. So Hodges, McGurk, O'Neal all with 3. For Delaware, Demica has 3, but Charisier on the bench with 4. So Michelle Ojo has to hold down that center spot. And again, this is her first game back from injury. Cousins, the drive, puts on the brakes. Jumper is good, and it's back to a 1-possession game.
Again, we're just seeing these unbelievable moves by Cousins, and so smooth, just able to finish.
Drexel across midcourt. Lavin has it. Again, the Dragons going with their 2 bigs, Lavin and Evans together. Evans, top of the key, over to Baker. Baker, down low Evans. She's got a mismatch. Now the kick out. Good ball movement. O'Neal in the corner. Hits a big free.
That's Drexel basketball right there. Good shot versus better shot. Extra pass to Grace O'Neal. Big bucket from her.
Boone trying for the quick answer. No good. O'Neal grabs the board, but Evans really did the hard work down low. McCormick gets it to Baker after she picked up her dribble. O'Neal now in double figures with 11 after that last 3. McCormick. Now Lavin gets it in the post, all the way outside. McCormick hesitated, now steps over, hits another triple!
Big shot by McCormick, forcing that Delaware timeout. Great job.
Dragons go back-to-back from downtown after Delaware closed it to 2. And Drexel with an 8-point lead will take a timeout. McCormick with a nifty move. She's in double figures with 13. Franklin, alongside Maggie McIntyre, I'm Ari Bluestein. Thank you for joining us here on NBC Sports Philadelphia. And 2 straight threes for the Dragons has really opened things back up for Drexel.
Yeah, big swing there and just extra pass. Good Drexel basketball understanding. Good shot versus better shot. Able to pull them ahead here in the 4th.
So Delaware calls the timeout. They have 3 remaining. Drexel with 3 remaining. Both teams have no more fouls to give. 4 team fouls each. And Wilson with Lavin falling down just drops it in. That's a new season high of 20 for Chloe Wilson.
Yeah, we've seen Wilson. Nobody seems to be able to stop her tonight, so 4 more minutes left in this game. See what she can do.
Again, Delaware with the press. Drexel able to control. Baker, who has been held in check today, 4 of 10 for 11 points, and she's 0 for 3 from downtown. Lavin. Over to O'Neal. Shot clock is winding down. O'Neal, Lavin. She puts up a tough 3. It was partially blocked, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. I'm sure if you're Amy Mallon, that is not the shot you want at the end of a possession.
No, and credit to Delaware. I mean, just coming out of this timeout, able to get a score, a stop, and now let's see what they do on this possession.
Wanzer back in for Perry, so you get the shooter in. And Wanzer, even though she only has 5 points tonight, you know how deadly she can be. Cousins to Charisier, who's back in the game with 4 fouls. Here is Wanzer. Got her shot, but couldn't connect. Yeah. Rebound by Deja Evans.
She's going to want that one back. She was wide open. Great screen set by her teammate. Could have made a difference here.
3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. McCormick over to Lavin. O'Neal, who is 3 for 3 from downtown with 11 points tonight. Lavin left open, this time more under control. No good. Evans the rebound. Lavin thought about it, but then passed it over to McCormick.
Good fourth quarter decision there by Lavin. Just a veteran understanding. It's not the shot you need.
Baker, left wing. Tries to pick and roll. Lavin goes inside, blocked, but a foul is called. That might be number 5 on Charisier, and it is. And Delaware, already very thin in the front court, will lose their starting center, Andia Charisier.
Oh, just a tough break here. Yeah, again, the same thing. She's made the same mistake a couple times tonight, causing her to have to go out of this game, and unfortunate for Delaware already with a short bench. It's a big loss.
So Delaware going to go a little smaller here with Jaya Perry. The only other center they really have is Michelle Ojo at 6 feet, but again, she's coming back. This is her first game back from an injury, as Lavin is at the line and makes the free throw. So all 7 Dragons have scored here in today's game.
That's exactly what you want from your team. And again, when Amaris Baker, you know, it seems like she's having a slow night. For some other players, that could be a great night. But her teammates seem to pick her up and really fill up the box score.
So 1 of 2 for Lavin. Wanzer the drive and couldn't hit the leaner across the lane, and O'Neal grabs the miss. So now the Dragons, up 7, will certainly slow things down with just about 2 minutes to go. McCormick. Evans. Baker. Cousins has caused her problems all night. Tries to pick and roll, and it's a little bit too high for the 6'2" Deja Evans. And Delaware will call a timeout. So it is a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here with 1:50 to go here in the fourth quarter. So a couple of other scores. This is the opening night in CAA. 5 points or less.
Yeah, yep. It's competitive tonight.
What a first night. The only blowout was the game earlier today. All these games have been close. So Delaware calls the timeout. 2 remaining for the Blue Hens. Big possession for Delaware. Cousins. Over Lavin. That time she couldn't connect. That did not hit the rim, so shot clock does not reset. Wilson takes on the double team. Cousins for 3. Oh my.
I mean, you knew it. She's wide open, able to relocate, found herself a spot in the corner. Deadly tonight.
Her and Wilson each with 20. Lavin, good job to split the defense. It's a 2-possession game. Both teams are going to be in the bonus on the next foul. Drexel is actually already in the bonus. Shot clock winding down, and Amy Mallon will call a timeout with 58.7 to go, 6 to shoot. So Drexel will have seconds to shoot. Hodges, who is pretty good at these side-out inbounds plays, is in the game for just that. Lavin checks out. Hodges, the lob, Evans corrals it, and she is pushed and fouled by Wilson. Evans slow to get up, but she looks to be okay, and she's going to go to the line. Third personal on Wilson, and Delaware is over the limit.
And that's exactly why you want Chloe Hodges to check back into this game. She's capable of making that pass over the defense. You see Evans get fouled there, tripped up, heading to the line.
Evans at the line, 3 for 6 from there tonight, hits the first one. So we'll see what Delaware decides to do. They do have 2 timeouts remaining, as do the Dragons. Big free throw right here for Deja Evans. She's got it. And Delaware and head coach Sarah Jenkins will use the timeout. So they will have 1.
And if you're Delaware and you decide to go for a 3, Drexel better box out, because long shots equals long rebounds, and you don't want to give them second and third opportunities to get themselves right back in it.
Well, despite the Dragons having no field goals over the last 3:20, they are still holding a 6-point lead. It's been a slow, grinded out, physical second half, but that big lead early certainly boded well for Drexel.
Yeah, and this is just the definition of conference play.
And a Drexel-Delaware rivalry. Chloe Wilson, the drive. There's that spin move over Evans. Couldn't get the roll. Got her own miss, and the foul is called. And Wilson is going to go to the line. They're going to get the foul on Lavin. And Chloe Wilson back to the line for the 7th and 8th times tonight.
Yeah, so a good, strong move here. Unfortunate roll. Again, she stays with it. Right back up. Easy call for the official there.
So still time here for Delaware, but these are big free throws for Wilson. She's got the first. 21 for Wilson, adding to her season high. She's got both, and Drexel will use a timeout to advance the basketball. So Amy Mallon, you foul and force Drexel to make some free throws. What do you think?
It could go either way. It depends what you practice all week, but I mean, just knowing personnel, knowing who's a good foul shooter, maybe who you don't want to send to the line. But I would play straight up defense first.
Looks like that's what Delaware is doing. Drexel has avoided the trap, and now the foul is committed on Amaris Baker, and that will put Baker at the line for 2. So you're right, Maggie. They went for the steal first. Once they realized they couldn't get it, they commit the foul and stop the clock.
Yeah, because you don't want to let too much time go off there. So if you don't get the initial steal, you have to foul, send them to the line, give yourselves a chance.
So Baker is 3 for 4 from the line tonight. Not a typical Amaris Baker game. That's only her 12th point. She averages 17.5 per game to lead Drexel. 4 of 10 from the floor, 4 of 5 from the line, make it 4 of 6. And Delaware and Chloe Wilson gets her 10th rebound, so a double-double. For Delaware is now out of timeouts. Both teams are in the bonus. Perry is in with Demica, Wanzer, Wilson, and Cousins. And the aforementioned Cousins, Wanzer, and Demica both all capable. They're all capable 3-point shooters. Demica gets open and cannot connect. Rebound deflected to Lavin, and she is fouled. And we will take the walk down the floor. And Delaware got the look they wanted, but unfortunately for Demica, she just has not been able to get in that rhythm because of foul trouble. That's a shot she normally knocks down.
Yeah, exactly. Great point. I mean, she was wide open. They drew it up exactly how they wanted. They wanted to go for the 3 here and unable to knock it down.
So Molly Lavin at the line. First free throw is good. Delaware is out of timeouts. If Lavin can make this one, it makes it a 3-possession game, and that may seal it for the Dragons. She's got it. That's a big one. Delaware has to go the length of the floor.
No fouls if you're Drexel.
Shot clock pretty much irrelevant at this point. Demica, she gets another look. Still can't connect, and Hodges grabs the board, and that will definitely do it, and it just comes down to the Blue Hens unable to make shots here down the stretch.
Yeah, and that's something, you practice all week, just understanding personnel, understanding the type of game you could possibly be in, and being ready for these big shots. Unfortunately, like you said, her rhythm has been disruptive tonight because of foul trouble, but, you have to practice those pressure situations.
Hodges makes the first. She's got 9. She makes one more. That's going to be 4 Dragons in double figures. And, of course, she misses. I'll take the hit on that one, Maggie. Yep. Shot clock is off. Dragons up 8. Cousins looking for room. Goes in, drops it off for Wilson, adding to her season high. She now has 24.
Quite the duo, those two.
Drexel does have 1 timeout remaining if they want, but Drexel does not even need to take it across midcourt, and that will do it. It was a battle, as it always is, between the Dragons and the Blue Hens, but Drexel victorious 65-59. They get the first win in the first conference game of the year. Boy, that second half was intense, physical, everything you'd expect from a Drexel-Delaware rivalry. The final one as conference foes here in the CAA here in Philadelphia.